Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday. If you live here on the west side of our state, west of the Cascades, even in Salem, where it's mid 90s or hotter, I'm sure you're at least agreeing that, hey, it's not as bad, right? The excessive heat warning for the Willamette Valley in Southwest Washington was allowed to expire Tuesday evening at 10 p.m. And I start with the fact that although it is a slight movement, the movement is taking place. The heat dome is slowly starting to shift to the east, and it's already doing so just enough that we're seeing, instead of 100s, a shift into the 90s here west of the Cascades. And it's very possible that this heat dome keeps moving, so the excessive heat alert for areas east of the Cascades, at least in Central Oregon and the Gorge, will also be dropped later tonight as temperatures across all of our two states start to back off and cool down. Again, the heat dome, a strong area of high pressure that basically centers itself, becomes fairly stagnant. The compressive heating literally produces a mound of heat dome. So the center of it today, basically over Nevada, starting to move into the state of Utah. And then by Saturday, it's more Utah into Colorado and over the Rockies. And especially on Saturday's map, which is on the right, you can see we start swinging more of a westerly flow, at least mid to upper levels coming off of the Pacific, with the center of the calm ridging clearly off to our east. Now, overall, this is still a hot batch of air. We're still talking about temperatures at least mid 80s and still some 90s upcoming. The heat dome is on the move, and with the expiration of the heat, I'm trying to move my computer, excessive heat warning last night. That is the top story. So Tuesday, not for everybody, but for much of the state, did turn out to be, in fact, the hottest day of this stretch that began with the heat wave last Thursday, July 4th, when we rose up into the 90s. Then remember last Friday, Saturday, we were 99. Then we hit 100 degrees on Sunday. And then I think it was 102 on Monday and then 104 Tuesday. So yesterday's record in Portland, 104, is the hottest temperature since we hit 108 August of last year. Do you remember that? It was 108 August of last year. And then I think the 2 days that followed that was 103, 103. Vancouver was 103 yesterday, Hillsborough 103, Salem 106. And also a record, this is huge. A record was set yesterday in Salem. McNary Field hit 100 degrees for 5 consecutive days, something that had never been done at that location. So that's a new heat wave record. Eugene had 106 degrees, and that also tied the record for the hottest temperature ever in the month of July. If you're wondering, Portland's July all-time record is 107. All right, historic heat wave records. So we have reached 90 degrees as expected, but not 100 on this Wednesday. So the 90-degree days in a row record, which is 10 at PDX, July 25th through August 3rd back in 2009, could still be equal. Today's day 7. I'm forecasting 88 tomorrow. But we could hit 90 tomorrow. And if we hit 90 tomorrow, that would be day 8. And then it's possible that we would go day 9, day 10 into the weekend. So maybe we tie this mark. That's something we're looking at. 100-degree days in a row, the record will stand at 5 because we hit 3 in a row, and now we're only in the 90s today. So that historic record, going back to one of the great heat waves of all time back in the summer of 1941, will stand. So that is an update on those records that we are following. A quick shout out to the Momentous Wealth podcast. I need to check this out. It's been a while since I've got on. Todd, every week or so, puts out a new podcast into his library. These are great learning experiences about what you can be looking for in your investments, especially in your mutual funds and that type of thing for retirement. You can listen on Apple Podcasts and also on Spotify. Just search the Momentous Wealth podcast from Todd Pisarcik's team. Thank you, Todd. All right. The big story on KGW's news this morning was this fire that was reported around 12:30 yesterday afternoon on Tuesday. It's the Larch Creek fire on the right side of your screen. It's burning just a little bit southwest of Dufur, so a little bit southwest of Highway US 197. This is over in Wasco County, getting into Central Oregon. You see the Dalles well up to the north. It's mainly grass. It's already burned over 7,000 acres. It was obviously human caused because it's been perfectly clear the last couple of days. It doesn't mean it was intentionally caused, but it was caused by some sort of human activity. There was I just checked the latest reports this afternoon, no containment. Firefighters have been battling 20 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts out there. This is still in the area in Central Oregon along US 197, where the excessive heat warning is in effect at least through this evening, and temperatures are up around 100 degrees. So that's just horrifically bad conditions, meaning so easy for the fire to spread. We'll wish the men and women fighting those blazes the best. 6 named fires over to the left. Most of these continue to be in Central Oregon and Central Washington. The Salt Creek fire is down near Medford, and then you got the Upper Pine fire out to the east. But, it's fairly good news, as hot as it's been and dry as it's been going back July 4th, that we've really only had that one fast-moving new blaze ignited. And let's hope they get that under control. Okay, that is old information. Let me get you to the current information, and here we go. So what you're looking at here is the U.S. warning map from the National Weather Service. And I want you to notice where it's white, there's nothing going on. All of the heat alerts have been dropped for Western Oregon. There's still a heat advisory today for portions of Western Washington, but basically east of the Cascades, see all the colors? That is a mix of the excessive heat warnings for 100-degree temperatures, heat advisories for temperatures in the 90s to about 100, and red flag warnings for obviously high fire danger. Here's the map close up from the Portland National Weather Service office. You can plainly see the warnings back up to the east slope of the Cascades, but nothing here on the west side. So, normally we're in the 90s. I'd be talking about how hot it is, but remember Portland was 104 yesterday. So even if we hit 94 today, which we may or may not make it that hot, that would be 10 degrees cooler. And I was just outside, and I'm sure you agree with me. You can definitely tell the difference. Let's see here. Let me update these. These are the 5 o'clock temperatures. So far, 92 in Portland. We could still go up another degree or so. 97 in Salem. Obviously not light rain. That's a erroneous observation, but the temperature report I think is correct. 89 in Vancouver. Can be that thermometer is not properly sun shaded, but 93 in Oregon City, McMinnville 94. Not as warm up north. Woodland 86, Vernonia up in the Coast Range 81, Battleground 87. So they're and Gresham 88. So clearly we have dialed down the heat, and that's terrific news. The wind direction is mainly west northwest, as you can see. And here's a look at the other current. Let me update this to the 5 o'clock temperatures. Okay, here they come. 97 Salem, 92 Portland, 99 in the Dalles, 101 up in Yakima. Look at the excessive heat warning locations. Pelton 103, Baker City 100, Burns 100, and down in Medford it's 101. The coast actually started off with clouds this morning, and then they cleared out. Astoria 70, Newport 66, North Bend 63. I should say many locations have cleared out. Remember Astoria yesterday, by the way, was 85 degrees. And by the way, the Dalles, you folks were 109 on Tuesday. Hermiston was the hottest spot in the state yesterday at 110. And even out east, nobody's going to get that warm. So we are seeing cooling. I've already shown you the migrate. The only thing we're really watching is this eastward push of that heat dome that I started off. So now it's all about trying to figure out how warm to hot temperatures are going to be. Here's the Medford forecast, still near 100 degrees tomorrow and Friday, Saturday 105, Sunday 102, and then upper 90s to near 100 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So kind of a flat, hot forecast. Really hazy down there tomorrow and on Friday. Air quality numbers in the Willamette Valley today have generally been good. They've generally been moderate out where the excessive heat is still in play in eastern Oregon. Okay. Let's go up to Bend, 97. 95 tomorrow, 98 Friday, 100 Saturday, mid to upper 90s until Tuesday, low 90s. Okay. There's a slight chance of a thunderstorm in the forecast for Central Oregon. That could mean lightning. That could mean fire starts on Sunday. And Sunday, there's a little upper level disturbance that just kind of clips the Pacific Northwest, and that will trigger some instability, which is why you see that thunderstorm chance in Central Oregon's forecast and probably over the Cascades as well. Up in Seattle, okay, getting more comfortable now. 83 tomorrow, 84 Friday, mid-80s Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all dry, 83, 82 on Wednesday. That's pretty sweet, right? Let's go down to Newport, mainly 60s, mainly some sunshine. Could be some patchy fog down there Thursday. I do think there's a chance of some morning clouds along the coast this coming Sunday as well. If you go down to North Bend, kind of a similar situation, mostly in the 60s, as you can see. Okay. Well, I'm just going to get you to Portland 7-day forecast. Here we go. We'll keep it simple today. So tomorrow, 88. Now, it is absolutely possible that we hit 90. And remember, if we hit 90 tomorrow, it would be day 8 in a row. And then Friday would be day 9. And Saturday would potentially be day 10. And that would tie that historic heat record of 10 consecutive 90-degree days. Right now, I have Sunday cooling, but 87, I mean, if I'm off by a few degrees, that's a new record. That would be day 11, and Monday would be day 12. So really, if you don't have air conditioning, I keep repeating this phrase, but it's important. I remember growing up without it. It can be horrible. I mean, these are better, more comfortable nights upcoming and not as hot, but still, if you're sitting in an unconditioned or on air conditioned home and it's 88 or it's 90 or it's 93 in the afternoon, that's uncomfortable. So continue to check on any friends you know that might need some hours in a cool location if you can offer it. It's all dry. I see maybe some early clouds on Sunday, maybe a more significant cool down into the mid 80s on Tuesday and Wednesday. That's the European model. The American GFS model still likes it being warmer, closer to 90 degrees. So that is your update. I am going to spend some time in the coming days. Obviously, my summer outlook needs to be updated. We're starting to, looks like we're going to go above the projection I had for heat, certainly for this month of July already. So I am looking to update that outlook, and we'll have that in the coming days. Thank you for subscribing. I'm meteorologist Rod Hill, coming to you from the Portland, Vancouver area, and I'll talk to you soon.